What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid-taper transformation on my boy, so stay tuned. We started off by grabbing our foreguard all the way closed and debulking the top as much as possible. Since his hair is so used to being held a certain way, we're gonna make sure we make everything as even as possible and lay down the hair as much as possible. As you guys can see, saturating the hair is definitely going to help us lay down everything. Now that we're done combing the hair, we can move on to our goat FX and create our first guideline and a back neck taper. Now that we're done bottoming them out, we could then move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You want to make this guideline around an inch thick so you can spread the blend. Of course, once you're done setting in that guideline, you then want to slightly close the lever midway and all the way closed and attack that initial guideline. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave a follow down below on the Instagram. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we could then move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Remember, we're going to use this same guard and its lever to soften up this line and get ready for the half guard. As you guys can see, now that we're done softening up the line with the one guard and its lever, we could then move on to the half guard. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we could then move on to our two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. This is going to help us blend into the top and also help us blend into our lower guards. Now that we're done softening up the line with the lever, we could then move on to our 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Remember, use the corners and the lever. Sometimes after using your 1.5 guard, there's still a faint line, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open would definitely help. Now we're using our 3 guard all the way open, and this is going to help us blend into the top completely. Now that we're done with the back taper, we can then move on to the side taper and use our gold effects to create our first guideline. You always want to make sure you contour this first guideline to the head shape, just so that the fade can flow better. Now we're moving on to our no guard all the way open, and we're creating our second guideline. We're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way closed and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we could then move on to our 1 guard all the way open and use the corners as much as possible. Now that we're done using the lever with the 1 guard, we could then move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Now we're creating our fourth guideline with our 2 guard all the way open. This guard is going to help us use our 1.5 guard and also blend into the top using our 3 guard. Using your 1.5 guard is very important and definitely connects the lower guards to the top guards between the 2 guard and the 1.5 guard. Now we're using our 3 guard to remove any darkness near the corners and connect it to the top completely. Now we're using our gold FX to line up the side of the neck, and also we're going as low as possible, making sure that the hair feeds into the teeth for the trimmer. Man, leave a thumbs down below if you think it's crispy. When I line up my C-cups, I always start off at the bottom and work my way to the top arch using the corners of the blade. Now that we're done with the C-cups, we can then move on to the top and start off at the middle, working our way to the sides. hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave a follow down below on the Instagram. Okay, he is tired of his beard, so we're gonna knock it down to a 1.5 guard all the way open, which is equivalent to a 2 guard closed. When I line up the bottom of the beard, I always start off at the middle and work my way to the sides, and I make sure I go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer. Make sure not to press too hard because you could bite them with the teeth of the trimmer. Here we're blending up the sideburn with our no guard all the way open and our lever being closed midway and all the way closed. What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid taper on my boy, so stay tuned. As you guys can see, he has a lot of hair. We're chopping it all off. So we're starting off with a 4 guard all the way closed, and we're making sure everything's nice and even. Now that we're done cutting the top, we're gonna go ahead and saturate the hair just to make sure everything's nice and laid down. While the hot towel is getting hot, I'm gonna go ahead and bald out the back and make sure everything's nice and neat. Now we're going to use our hot towel. We're going to lay the hair down as much as possible using the hot press. Now that the hair is completely laid down, I'm going to go ahead to the back line and make it a little bit higher just to make sure that the bald line isn't too low. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave a follow on the Instagram down below. Now that we're done budding them out, we can move on to our 3 guard all the way open, and we're gonna debulk the back. Now that we're done debulking the back, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You wanna make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. Now that we're done setting in the guideline, we're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we could then move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our 3rd guideline. Remember, we're also going to use this same guard and its lever to soften up this line and get ready for the half guard. Before we use our half guard and finish up that line, I'm going to go ahead and create my 4th guideline with my 2 guard all the way open. This is going to help us blend into the larger guards on top. I'm also using the 3 guard all the way open right above the 2 guard all the way open. Now I'm using a 4 guard all the way closed, and I'm making sure everything's nice and even and connected to the top. Now that we're done debulking and building our base with the 2 guard all the way open, we can then move on to our 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. I'm making sure I detail as much as possible with my 1.5 guard, especially using the corners and the lever. Here I'm making sure that the back taper is consistent throughout the back of the neck, and also I'm debulking the sides so it's easier for me to line up the side neck. Since we'd used a 4 guard on top, I'm using the 3 guard all the way open to debulk and make sure everything's nice and even. Now that we're done debulking the sides, we could then move on to our gold FX and create our first guideline. You want to make this guideline at a curved shape so that the burst taper could burst. Using a curved shape is also giving contour to your taper. Now that we're done budding them out, we go then move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You want to make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. We're also going to create our 3rd guideline with the 1 guard all the way open right above the no guard all the way open. To erase our initial guideline completely, we're going to use our lever midway and all the way closed, and we're going to attack it as much as possible while flicking out. Here I'm using the 2 guard all the way open to create my 4th guideline, and I'm also getting ready for the 1.5 guard using the lever. Now we're moving on to our 1.5 guard, and we're going to use the corners and its lever to erase the line completely and connect the taper. Here I'm detailing as much as possible with my half guard, and I'm making sure I use the corners of the blade. Moving on to the beard, we're going to go with the grain with the 3 guard all the way closed, and we're going to keep the beard as thick as possible. Now I'm going with the grain with the 1.5 guard all the way open near the chin area, and I'm also just debulking and flicking out as much as possible. Now that we're done debulking, we can then move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline on the sideburn, we could then move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Now that we're done detailing the beard, we could then move on to our gold FX and move on to the back neckline. I always start off at the bottom where work my way to the top arch using the corners of the blade, especially when I'm doing the neck airline and the C cup area. Make sure not to press too hard near the ear area and the bottom of the neck area, because those are a little bit sensitive. Going back to the beard, we're going to start off at the middle and work our way to the sides using a Gorda FX. Before we line him up, we're going to prep the hairline with a little bit of hairspray by combing everything into place and making sure nothing moves. Now that we're done prepping the hairline, we can use our Gold FX to start off at the middle and work our way to the sides. We also want to make sure to keep his hairline as natural as possible and not to keep in the corners too deep. You also want to make sure you go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then the hair is going to shift and then you won't line them up properly. hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you guys want to show some extra support, go ahead and leave a follow on the Instagram down below. Now that we're done lining them up, we can move on to our Turkish razor and Derby Premium blade to make them as crispy as possible. But before we do that, we're going to apply some shave gel so that the blade can glide better. When you're using the blade, you want to stretch the skin as much as possible and keep the razor at a 45-degree angle for the most part. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone.